Ed Gonzalez, Harris County Sheriff. This morning at approximately 7:30 a.m., we received reports of a major crash here on 1960 in the Humboldt area. Ironically, one of our team members was actually driving down this thoroughway and did get a chance to witness some of what transpired. But what we know right now is that a female driver was driving on 1960. We believe that a vehicle, possibly a silver SUV type vehicle, we're unsure about the details on the vehicle at this point, may have cut her off, causing her to steer away from impacting the other vehicle, then overcorrecting, and then rolled over several times, eventually landing on the embankment. We do know that there were other children in the vehicle, and so immediately want to really commend our citizens for stepping in. Several people, including our lieutenant that was here on scene, started taking action, started trying to render aid to all involved. And so it's really nice to see that spirit of people stepping up to help and not just watching, but being active bystanders, which we commend them. We don't know who those citizens are. But they were able to pull everyone successfully from the car. But the mother and an 8-year-old child were ejected from the vehicle. They have been transported to hospitals in very serious condition, and we're hoping that they pull through. The other 3 children, possibly ranging in ages from 2 to 5 years old, were also in the vehicle, but I understand that they were stable. So they're going to be checked out for precautionary reasons, but it's the mom and the 8-year-old that we're most concerned about right now. The other vehicle that possibly cut them off fled the scene, so we'd like to know who that person is. It's rush hour, so there were a lot of vehicles traveling through here. So if anybody was on the roadway in the Humboldt area near the East Tex Freeway, but specifically between Woodland Hills and First Street, we'd like to know. Sometimes vehicles have dash cams and other things that may have caught some of it. We'd like to know who that person is. But at this point, our main focus is just conducting a thorough scene investigation with our Vehicle Crimes Division, as well as obviously just supporting the family right now. So that's what we have right now. It was a devastating crash. Again, we were told that the vehicle rolled over several times, and it's just a terrible way to start the morning.
What direction was the vehicle traveling in?
The vehicle was traveling would be eastbound, going towards Woodland Hills from First Street, kind of away from the East Tex Freeway area. And apparently, and one of the relatives also was driving a few vehicles back. And so again, it's just very sad that they would see that. They're pretty traumatized, obviously, from what transpired here. So we're just going to try to make sure we get all the details together, canvass the area for any possible videos. If there's any businesses in the area, this corridor, if they could proactively look at their cameras and see if they could see any activity of anyone speeding or reckless driving or anything like that, we'd like to know.
How many occupants in the vehicle? The mom was driving?
The mom, the driving, and 4 kids. Yeah, an 8-year-old and then 3 other smaller children, possibly ranging from areas from ages 2 to 5. None were seriously hurt. They're still being checked out because with the rollover, it's a pretty traumatic type of event. We want to make sure they're okay. But again, the family was pretty traumatized because, like I said, a relative was able to witness some of what happened from a distance, but saw what happened. And so right now we're trying to, again, it's rush hours, so trying to navigate the traffic around the area right now as well.
The 8-year-old, boy or girl?
I believe it was a male.
Male, okay.
Yeah.
Just talk about 1960 and how busy it is. And to me, lately, people have been very aggressive on the roads.
Yeah, we have a lot of reckless drivers. We've been saying now for the last few years, even going back to last year in particular, we thought that even during COVID, with a lot of people at the time staying at home, that the roadways would actually be safer. It was on the contrary. We really see an uptick of more reckless driving, and especially in the morning, people are in a rush. They're late for things, or just being reckless. You can't do that around just busy corridors and things like that. And so we don't know exactly what transpired here, other than just the preliminary information that we have. But again, it seems that another driver was being reckless, cut off the driver, forcing them to take evasive action to avoid a collision, and ended up resulting in a rollover incident themselves. So again, just very sad. We just continue to tell everyone to just be patient, pay attention, follow the traffic laws as much as possible, and just be safe out there. Our roadways are becoming so dangerous, and now with so many incidents of road rage that are being reported, not only here in Harris County, but in other parts of the state and country, it seems to really be a serious issue that it doesn't seem to be letting down.